Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Playing with Plastic. I'm the Big Cat. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Threezero's MDLX Starscream. As usual, we're going to start off by looking at the packaging very quickly because we've seen it before. I don't mind it. I think it's getting a little bit cleaner. I think for like Megatron, it was a really cluttered graphic design for it, but it's a bit cleaner, I find. Very clear shots of what you're gonna get. Obviously a Decepticon. We get that cool trick where he can change. It looks like he's changing heads. Take a look at that later. And yeah, Starscream, we get the fancy sticker with a 3Z on it. Starscream, MDLX. That's it for packaging. We're going to take a look at details, but right off the bat, I gotta say, this figure is more expensive. Now, right off the bat, we're going to look at details, and he looks phenomenal. I was a little bit worried about the derpy toes. I have a little bit of blue tack there just so he doesn't fall over. He is an expensive figure. Speaking of which, he is, I don't know how much, I think it's like $30 more than the last MDLX figure that came out. I know they're maybe doing like a bait and switch. We're like, oh, we'll give you this product, this new line at a bit of a discounted price, and eventually it's going to go up. But in the meantime, we'll have everybody, you know, like hooked already. I think it worked because I was like, shit, man. It's fucking $30 more. Fucking Christ. Whatever. I pulled the trigger, and you know what? I still ain't mad. It's a gorgeous figure. Just fucking crazy. Even at that price point, like in Canada, makes it the same as a Mafex or a Mezco figure, a high-end Mezco figure, like a deluxe edition. And for what they give, this is on point, man. I can't fault them. It was underpriced in the beginning of the line, and I think, yes, they're correcting the price because it is worth what they're charging now. This is some of the fucking best detailed this is some of the most highly detailed, and not in a shitty overly done way, highly detailed, just really well engineered figure with high-end paint apps and a very well done unique sculpt to Threezero's line. Let me take a little vocal break, take a little swig at a drink. But yeah, I'm not hating this. I think this could be my favorite figure so far in the line. My favorite figure so far was either a toss-up between Megs and Hot Rod or Rodimus Prime. But I'm really thinking that it's now Starscream. Even with the kind of derpy toes, you know? Whatever. Let's get in close. Look at the details. Look at that face. It's not overly done like Bayverse. Get some character in there. The strong chin. The fins on the left and right of his head. Like, you look at this, and this is Starscream. Kind of reminds me of an Armada Starscream right away, but you get nice details up here with his backpack. The wings look phenomenal. Hot rods were pretty big, but I think these are bigger. We'll do a comparison, of course, later on, but look at the details up here. Around the head, on his shoulders. And not crazy like a War for Cybertron was, where like you kind of felt in some figures they were just doing like filler. This is kind of thought out, you know, like the symmetry, of course. Look inside there, you see some jet engines in his chest. Slightly muted gold on his cockpit there, but I really dig it. Really dig it. The gold highlights here on his waist fins, his hip skirts. Sorry, losing the words. Really nicely done. That's all you're gonna hear is really nicely done. This is fantastic, phenomenal. But it is. I just reviewed the McFarlane high definition remaster of a Spawn figure, and the weathering was just slopped on. This is, you get what you pay for when it comes to this figure. I mean, just really gorgeous stuff. Like the blue accent right there on his shins, and then with the gold coming around from the back, the pipes. Look at that. Even the stupid kind of toes. I dig it. I dig it. The one problem that I had with, like, before getting this figure was like, I have a big, like, OCD when it comes to, like, flat feet. I want fucking feet to be flat. It drives me nuts in reviews, and hell, if you look at my reviews, probably the same thing. I have many instances where, like, the feet are just, like the person wouldn't be standing like that. Like, the feet have to be flat unless it's an action pose. But yeah, I was worried about these just always constantly looking weird. But you can get them where they're looking flat, you know, where it's, the toes are touching the ground. Because if not, I'll just push down. Most of the time, you'll have them if I don't have the blue tack on there. Like, it'll be like this. Don't be offended, the blue tack doesn't do anything to it. Simply so it didn't fall down. Get that off. But like, look. Most of the time you'll see them like pose like that. But you can get it. You just push down, you gotta have them. Just a little bit of blue tack there. That's why I had it, because he's a little back heavy. But look, it's nice and flat. His thruster is nice and flat. I like that. Let's take a look at the back part of Screamer. Like, this is crazy. I don't think there's... This is... Actually, no, I'm not even going to say that. Really nice stuff. This is one of the top lines being put out right now. Non-transforming. You know, a lot of people have a problem with that, but when you get this kind of quality, I don't mind at all. Let's get into articulation, and I'm going to take the backpack off just to make it easier. And I'll take the null rays off. Head up like that. Tons of down. Full 360. From that way, yeah, I couldn't do it that way. There we go, full 360. Let's move the shoulder pads out the way. And quite the T-pose there. Full 360. Butterfly joint that comes out of the torso. Beautiful stuff. It's really well done. Feels great. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow with fantastic range. Alright. Now there's no swivel here at the elbow, but the hand is on a ball joint, a double ball joint. That's the only thing I don't really care for the MDLX line. I find the hands are hard to get on and off. Not so much off, but to get back on. That bell is always moving around. So that's the only gripe I have, really. Besides hip skirts, which they've improved on greatly since the issues with Megatron. So really cool stuff here. We get Crunch, And look at that. How the cockpit just goes in behind itself. And you can see from the back, just more detail gets exposed. There's no gaps. Gorgeous stuff. We have a swivel at the waist as well. Hip skirts all come out like so. Drop down hips that help with the range when you want to kick. Just like that. You get a swivel up at the thigh. Beautiful knee. As you can see, more details come out when the joints are extended. Gorgeous. And always take your time and be nice to it, because there are pinch points that you can scuff some paint, so be careful. Articulation, fantastic, like most Threezero figures. And the derpy feet, still you get down like that, up like that at the toes, and you have panels here that you can move out the way. It's a weird system. It's on like a ball inside there, but it's swiveled like that, back and forth. There we go. Forward and backward. Yeah, better than I thought it would be when it comes to the foot articulation. All in all, like, really nice. As for accessories, he comes with exactly what he should. We get an instruction booklet as well that tells you what you're getting, and also how to install, and various pinch points throughout. So let's start off. We have an alternate face. They call it creepy face. It is, sorry for my fingers taking up most of the room, but it's just a smirking face for Starscream, which is the default face in my opinion. I'll put that to the side. He comes with his wings, or his backpack. Just phenomenal. Feels great. And it slides on very nicely. Like butter. Like butter. See? See this? Like butter. There we go. Makes him a little back heavy, so we'll keep it there. We get not one, but two wing blades that he can hold in his hands like daggers. They also slide onto the wings. Like... Come on. No, it is this one. Like so. Good for storage. We also get his null rays. Actually, very nicely detailed. Can be put on his shoulders, as they should be, or put into his hands if you're a fucking blasphemous fuck. Just simply slide into the shoulder pads. Like so. Doesn't take much effort. Of course, look at that. Beautiful. We also get a pair of fists, a pair of posed hands, a pair of neutral hands, and a pair of trigger fingers. Like I said, if you want to be a blasphemous cur. Alright, we're going to get into some comparisons, and like I said before, I don't like that the feet aren't flat, but I also have an issue with my display, or my review spot kind of goes backwards, so I kind of have to leave his derpy toes like that. Whatever, please forgive me. Here we have him next to the MDLX Bumblebee, the figure that started this whole line, followed by Cliff Jumper. Here we have him next to the MDLX Optimus Prime, and in my opinion, the weakest figure that's been released in the MDLX line, which is a goddamn shame because Prime should be top of the tops. Whatever, it is what it is. I honestly think they should do like a 2.0 version because of his stupid freaking derpy feet. I keep saying derpy, I don't know if that's a good word to use, but they're freaking retarded looking. And I know that's not a good word to use, but I don't give a shit. Always liked using that word, so I ain't gonna change. But yeah, like the foot caps, I really don't like those things. He looks a little slim. Anyways, is what it is. I think he needs a redo. We got him next to his boss, Megatron, the leader of the Decepticons. And they look really good together. I kind of prefer the G2 version that has a black... Oh, it's not the G2 version, it's the comic book version. Excuse me, but it has black head for Megatron. I think it looks better than this. But he's a pretty sweet looking figure in his own right. Here we are next to... And... next to the last figure that was put out in the MDLX line, Rodimus Prime. They look really good together. And Screamer, look, he is more expensive, but he is kind of bigger too. Feels heftier. Both fantastic, gorgeous figures. Like I said, this was my favorite figure before getting Starscream. The line just keeps getting better and better as it goes, so no complaints from me. Here he is next to my masterpiece Starscream that I use for displays, the DS-01? Is it 01? Anyways, it's a deformation space Starscream, a fantastic masterpiece scale Starscream. Holy shit, say that fucking 20 times in a row. But yeah, gorgeous. But this transforms, this does not. Next to a Mezco 112 collective, Destro. A really, really good figure from Mezco. They look good together, clearly not in scale, but nonetheless, looking good. Here he is next to a mainline figure, SS86 Cup, just to get some perspective on that. Next to Mafex X-Force Deadpool. Super 7 Ultimates figure, Mo. Next to the Resident Marvel Legend figure, the Orb! Oh. And that's going to do it for my look at the MDLX Starscream from Threezero. And they just keep killing it. I mean, there's not much more I can say about this line. Some of the best figures out there at the moment. Paint, sculpt, details, everything's on point. The only thing is like personal gripes when it comes to this figure personally is like the toes. Still aren't my favorite. It takes a while if you don't want it to look kind of weird. But it's doable. It's not as bad as I thought it would be from the promotional images. And the price being higher does suck. But in my opinion, I think they were kind of selling the figures at first at a bit of a discount. Especially when it comes to like Hot Rod and Megatron. They're kind of correcting that, and they got me. I don't feel like it was not worth it. Sorry for the double negative, but yeah, I feel like it was worth it. There we go, that's a better way to put it. Highly recommended, highly recommended. I love all these figures. I don't give a shit if they don't transform. You should know that going in. It should not be a surprise to you. But if it is, you know, you always do your research, folks. Always know what you're buying. And whether you should for whatever price you feel comfortable paying. I don't know what I'm getting into. I ain't getting into price wars. I ain't getting into any of that crap. But what I'm trying to say in the end is this figure is highly recommended. I love what Threezero is doing with this line. MDLX all the way, baby. I wish I had more money to explore the DLX line, but I don't really care for movie figures. So this MDLX line with original sculpts, with their own take on G1 characters, I'm loving it. And if they went to a DLX line with these guys, I probably would follow. So, blah blah blah, highly recommended. And that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, tell your friends about it. Let me know what you think of the MDLX line down below. Let me know what you think of Starscream. What's your favorite version of Starscream? I'll catch you guys next time.